So evening, and just lying on your mat wherever you're comfortable, or seated, whatever you prefer. And so depending whatever day you've had, let's just decompress. Put whatever stresses, worries, little anxieties we've had, let them sort of move away from the four corners and the four sides of your mat. This is sacred space. Nothing is allowed here to upset your calming energy. So just begin with a few breaths. Maybe a nice long sigh. And as you do this, you might notice that your shoulders relax, or maybe some tension in your face just loosens a bit. And just check in with how your breath feels in your body. It might be the first time today that you've actually thought about the breath and being in the moment with the breath. I know myself that if I'm not on my mat or doing something meditative, the breath is not even really a big thought throughout the day, it's just automatic. So it's really lovely to just tune in to you and the mechanism that keeps us alive. Breathing into the belly, enjoying the movement into the chest, all the muscles that move as our rib cage expands. And with every out breath, it's that lovely opportunity to just relax a bit more. Send your energies down into the earth and just ground yourself. And maybe just scan through your chakras, starting at the root, the base of the spine, Muladhara, and then our sacral area, lower back, lower belly, Svadhisthana. And then our solar plexus at the mid part of our body and mid back, Manipura. And then our heart center, so the front of the chest links with the arms and shoulders and the back of the body, Anahata. And in our throat, all around the neck and the lower part of the jaw, this is Vishuddhi. And then our third eye, Ajna, and our forehead, that area. And then finally just coming up to the crown, about an inch above the top of our head, Sahasrara. And just noticing as you glance through those areas of the body if anything feels out of balance. And the poses that we come into this evening will help to create some balance, certainly with our root and sacral and solar plexus, because we're on the floor doing the poses. It's very linked with these lower energies. So let's come to a seated. Just have a moment if you're lying down, just bring your knees in. Have a nice stretch through the back of your body. And then we'll come up to seated. No rush, take your time. It's all about slowing down and becoming more yin in our energy this evening. So we'll come to seated. Let's work with a mudra mantra. Peace begins with me, the one that we do with the fingers, where we just touch each finger to our thumb. And each time we do, we say, peace begins with me. Part way through, if you want to, just release the mudra, rest the hands, but stay with the mantra in your mind. I find that it's still quite powerful. Or you can continue with the hands, whatever you feel like this evening. It's your practice. So I'll time it for about 5 minutes. And we'll just let the eyelids close, just sort of soften through your face and shoulders and anywhere through your body, grounding through your tailbone. And we'll begin. So peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Just carrying on. Just notice your thoughts. And if you want to, carry on with the mudra, but if you want to just release the hands and stay with the mantra, then you can do. Observe if the mind wanders a little more or less. Just stay with the breath a little bit more. And let's just take one more breath and mantra together. And then just gently opening the eyes. I purposely didn't talk through that too much with that practice. I just wanted you to notice whether you easily stayed with the mantra and the mudra, whether it shifted if you stopped with the hands, and just generally if you could stick with it or whether the mind was really busy as well. So it's just something to observe in your own self, really. So coming off your cushion. The first pose we're going to take is gazelle, so a hip opener, rotating the leg in the other way. So we're going to start, keep your left leg forwards, and we're just going to rotate the right leg so it comes behind us, a little bit like you're going over hurdles. And you can have your knee higher if you need to, or level, or if you're able and you can take your leg a bit further back. So whatever feels comfortable for you, and obviously is a rotation of the knee as well, so being comfortable. You might find sort of leaning back into your left arm makes it a bit more of an easier pose. But start where you're comfortable, and often over the minutes that we're in these poses, we can move a little and there's a little bit more give and flexibility. So take a nice deep breath, let's relax. And just notice what's going on. Where's the tension initially? First of all, it might start in the right leg, so letting go. And then just gently observing if there's tightness in the front of your body, in the belly, and as you breathe. Maybe you can close your eyes. When we close our eyes, we can really sort of feel a bit more, perhaps what's going on through the left leg. Notice your shoulders. And then just bringing the breath to the belly and focusing on the movement of the breath. Is this challenging this evening? So we're about halfway through the time here. Has the body softened? You might find that you can just sort of sit a little bit more upright now that everything is kind of given a little bit around the hip and the knee. But again, if you do shift, just relax everything again. Checking in with the thigh on your right side. Whether you do feel any sensation, it might not be pain, but it might be something that you're not normally used to. Yin can teach us to sit with the not so comfortable things in life, and to realize that we can get through it, and actually it might benefit us in some strange way. So when you're ready, let's take a breath. Very gently sort of lean away from your bent leg so that you can easily release through the knee and the hip in a very slow, controlled and sort of nurturing way. Notice the joints as you just relax the leg to the mat, and then we'll come down. And then relaxing. As always, just tune in to whether you can sense any chi moving. In the usual parts we would expect perhaps the legs around the hips and groin, but maybe in other places through the arms, torso. So take your time here to keep breathing and relaxing. It's not always initially that the body surrenders to the mat. It takes a little while to relax through the back. Deep breaths. Maybe as you tuck your chin in a little and the upper back relaxes, it sort of knocks on, and then the lower back follows suit. So let's draw our knees in. Again, when you're ready, being careful of how it feels as you bend the knees in. We've come into a bit of an unusual shape with this posture. It's not something we move into every day in our day-to-day lives. So just noticing how these joints feel. Let's roll up. And so the other side, right leg extended, and then left leg. Very gently lean to the side as you come into this pose, and then take your time to find where you can sit in it. And it's often these two-sided poses where I really feel I notice a real difference in the skeletal structure within. One side, the hip will want to do something, the other side will feel ever so different. So coming into the position where you can feel but be comfortable. And then relax the buttocks. Try and relax around that left thigh, the left knee. And maybe it's nice to close the eyes and really feel all the other parts of the body that might be a little bit tense and tight still. Maybe just altering ever so gently the tilt of your upright torso as you lean outwards or slightly forward. It might relieve certain sensations in the body, so just explore. And deep belly breaths. Keep relaxing even through the right leg that's outstretched and the buttocks. And then halfway through, you might want to explore altering the pose, see if the softening has allowed you to move into the pose more. And just witness your thoughts. What's going through your mind? Notice if there's tightness in the belly or around the waist. Has the pose softened? Sometimes you come into a pose and you think this is never going to feel easier, but actually the time in it, things do melt and give, and it's not the same pose that we start in. So gently, let's just take one more breath here. And as we release out, again, lean away from your bent leg as much as you need to swing it round. And again, doing it ever so slowly, really being mindful of all the joints that we've really put into some strange positions there. And just extending your leg. Coming down. Noticing where you feel it the most. Perhaps it's knees rather than hips. Tingling in the hands where we've been leaning into the arms. So relaxing your face. And as we do this, shoulders, upper back, middle back, lower back. What do you feel and where do you feel it? Just being curious as to what these poses reveal within our body, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So when you're ready, let's hug in, bring the knees in, nice and slowly again, just feeling however they feel after that initial pose. And nice rock. So we're going to come into cat's tail next, which is a twist. I've got a pillow handy because I do use this to support the head. So we'll start by lying on the right side. So if you come onto the whole of your right side, legs stretched, and then just drawing your left knee up. I like to bring it in line with the hip. You can rest your head on that upper arm, and then if you can grab your foot with your left hand, your right foot with your left hand, then grabbing your cat's tail. But if you can't, it really doesn't matter. We can still come into the twist. And then just gently start to roll that left shoulder back. And this is where I like to kind of bring the cushion in to support the head and the neck. But if you haven't got one, you can always cradle your head with your right hand. And I love this pose. It's a very gentle pose. You can lean back as much as you want to explore this twist. So if you're not feeling it tonight, you can remain almost upright or on the side. But if you really want to come into it, then let the time in this pose sort of stretch you and let that left shoulder fall back. So relaxing, feeling that lovely tightness in your right quad muscle and around the knee, but relaxing the buttocks and the belly and the sides of the waist. And then when you feel like everything has relaxed, shoulders and face, you can draw your awareness to your breath. Keep relaxing the head and neck. This is somewhere I find always the tension creeps back in. And enjoying the breath in the belly and then where it moves through your body. Exploring if you want to move into the twist more, whether the body has softened enough to do this. And then relaxing everything again. How do you feel in this twist? It very much works our solar plexus, which is our confidence area of the body and our digestive system, and the part of us that's motivated or not. Out of balance, we can be lethargic, indecisive, linked with our metabolism, that can become sluggish. And it can also affect our self-worth. So a lovely posture for our gallbladder and our liver. And with one more breath, we will gently release our foot, if you're holding your foot, and then bring your body onto your side again, and then slowly onto your back. Take your time to move out of this posture. And then just keeping your cushion handy for when we come into the other side. Let's have a moment just to feel whatever we feel. Take this reset, pause, and explore, closing the eyes maybe and just following whatever sensations are on the right and on the left and where they are. As you breathe, just lying here, does it feel different through the chest and the lung area as you breathe into the body? Just enjoying as whatever you feel fades away gently now. And then we'll bring our right knee in, then our left knee. Enjoy a nice rock or roll. Sometimes I like to bring the head up and it stretches a bit more of the back. And then let's roll up. I'm going to just swivel to the other side so that I can still face you, and then we'll come into cat's tail lying on the left. So take a moment. It's always better to sort of take a few moments to get into the pose, and then you can really relax. So left leg straight, right leg bends and comes over, like the recovery position. If you can grab your foot, that's great. Right hand on the left foot, and then rolling back, using this pillow or whatever you have to support your head and neck. Otherwise, if you're really holding the head, it can feel very heavy and a lot of tension is held in the neck still. So nice deep breath. On the exhale, relaxing buttocks, back, waist, shoulders, head and neck. And with a nice gentle grip on your foot, nothing too tight, just a nice loose hold. And then aware of the breath. Enjoy being in the moment. Following your thoughts and your breath. How does this pose feel? Can you move into it a little bit more? Roll that shoulder back. Feel a fresh sensation. Relaxing the neck. And as you breathe, is the breath deep or shallow? Just being curious as to whether you have any thoughts or inspiration or ideas that come to mind. Just really enjoying being at one with your body and tuned in. So as we just approach the end, let's just take one more breath here. And rolling to your side as you release your foot nice and slowly, especially as you extend that knee, observing how it feels. And let's come onto our back. And a nice long breath and a sigh, and observing how this feels. Perhaps you feel a lot more balanced now that you've done both sides, and there's a lovely sort of tingly, fresh sensation, maybe through the arms and the legs and the waist. How do you feel? So let's draw the knees in. Again, a nice slow movement here. And take your time. It's nice to rock from side to side and feel the lower back, the tailbone, and then just sort of as you bring the knees in rocking, you almost enjoy like a zigzag from tailbone upwards. And so the next pose we'll come into is supported bridge. So if you've got a block handy, you can either have it on the top level. If you need to be a bit more nurturing, you can bring it down to the middle level of the block. And so we'll bring our feet towards our buttocks, come onto tiptoes, and then we're going to lift up and place that block on the sacrum area. So not lumbar, not encroaching on the lumbar vertebrae, just that flat patch that you feel almost at the top of the buttocks, where you can just start to relax. If you've tried it on the top level and actually it doesn't feel comfortable this evening, as I say, lower it down. Find the place where you feel like you need to be. And then we'll start to relax, relaxing the head and the neck. The shoulders often start to creep up towards the ears, but just keep relaxing. And then the inner thighs and buttocks. Just let the legs relax, hang to the side a little. Feeling a lovely stretch across the torso and the belly. Keep softening the chin and the neck. Relaxing the shoulders if they feel like they're hunched up. Lovely one for your throat centre. Always keep your head in the forward-facing position. Keep checking for tightness. How does this pose feel? Are you comfortable? If you need to move anything, alter and shift, please do. Keep checking in with the head and the neck. Often the chin sort of always creeps upwards, and try to encourage the chin to tuck in and lengthen through the neck. Notice if your arms are relaxed and hands and wrists. And then just what's going through your mind. Being that conscious observer. Relaxing upper back and around the scapula, your shoulder blades. How is this pose changing as we spend the time here? So let's just take one more breath in this one. Supported bridge. And then coming onto tiptoes, lifting your body gently just so that you can remove your block. And then ever so slowly just come down, feeling whatever you feel. And extending your legs. And maybe that feels really nourishing around the lower back. A lot of energy can get very locked around the pelvis. Past stuff, historic trauma, upset can be that lingers around the hips. And the sacral is the energy center of relationships and emotions. The root is about being safe. So a lot of stuff can come up around this lower back and pelvic area. If you need to just gently roll and rock your pelvis, you can, or lift the hips and wag your tail. Whatever feels right in your body. And then as everything softens and eases, we'll bring our knees in. So the last pose we're going to come into is a nice restful one. We'll do bench. So if you have your cushion handy, we've had a nice sort of stretch through the lower body, lower back there. We've come into twists. Rotated the hips and down. So it's always nice to end with a soft, relaxing pose. So with your pillow, just popping it a few inches from your body, and then you're going to get a lovely stretch through the upper back rather than the lower back. So just resting back. Support the head if you need something under the neck. Maybe a rolled towel is a nice sort of size. Otherwise, just relaxing. Take a nice deep breath in and a long sigh. Let everything soften. Let the cushion and the mat support you. And just checking in how you're feeling. As you think about all the parts of your body, muscles, the bones, the joints, the organs, nervous system and blood flow. We are remarkable beings. It's nice just to have a few thoughts of gratitude for our body and our mind. Enjoying the deep breaths into your belly. It's interesting to observe whether certain poses you can relax into without any trouble, and in others will challenge you and challenge your tolerance. This might be one of the poses where you can just really let go. Notice if you have feelings of being supported emotionally or physically. How that feels in your body to be supported by the mat and the cushion. So just gently we'll have one more breath. And then as you lift your head, just pull the cushion away. Coming back down. Just a few moments after every pose into this sort of reset position, Shavasana. Just lets us experience energy, the body, the mind, feelings. And then coming into relaxation. If you want to stay on the floor, maybe pull a blanket over, use a cushion under the knees or head. If you're a little bit chilly, you could put your socks on or other warm clothes. So I just found something the other day to read, which I thought was quite interesting. I might have read this before, but it's always lovely to get reminders. Sometimes why people read books over again if they've really enjoyed them, or watch a movie a second or third time if it makes them feel good and happy. So this is called A Higher Level of Healing by a Dr. David Frawley. For most of us, medical treatment begins when we fall ill. It is a form of disease treatment, a response to a condition that has already occurred. It aims at fixing something already broken. However, if medicine begins with the treatment of disease, it is a failure because the disease is already harming us. At this late stage, radical and invasive methods may be required, like drugs or surgery, which have many side effects. A higher level of healing is to eliminate diseases before they manifest, for which invasive methods like drugs or surgery are seldom necessary. To reach this stage, we must consider the effects of our lifestyle, environment, work, and physiological and psychological conditions. We must cut off the wrong factors in our daily lives that make us vulnerable to disease. To some extent, we are already sick because life itself is transient and unstable. There is always some disease attacking, particularly in changes of seasons or in the aging process. Each creature that is born must eventually die. Health is a matter of continual adjustment, like sailing a ship upon the sea. It cannot be permanently achieved and then forgotten, but is an ongoing concern. And another little quote by Confucius is very small. They must change often who would be constant in happiness. Interesting thought of always having to adjust, self-adjust for health, for happiness, because there's constant change. Nothing ever stays the same. So just have a few more minutes just relaxing here. So nice and slowly. No need to move just yet. Just bring your awareness back to your body in the room. And just take a few lovely breaths and follow the breath for a few moments. Enjoying how the rib cage expands and contracts. And then maybe just begin to stretch, wiggle fingers and toes. If it feels nice, rocking the head from side to side. Deep breaths. And slowly moving, keeping this yin energy. And when you're ready, you can just roll up to seated. Perhaps roll on your side first if that feels comfortable. Taking a few moments just to sort of come to another breath. And then we can draw our hands to heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.